Great. So, hi again, everyone. And yeah, big thanks to Tim for inviting me to speak today. It's a really great event to be part of. So, today I'm going to be talking about the importance of personalization when building a good website experience and some technical considerations relating to SEO and all the core web vitals stuff that we just heard now from Nikki when personalizing your website. So, I'm Camilla. As Tim already introduced me, I'm the content marketing manager at Fresh Relevance, and my job involves a lot of researching, writing, and talking about e-commerce. So before I get stuck in, I wanted to quickly talk about who Fresh Relevance is to add some context to my talk. So we're a best of breed personalization platform that automates customer experience and decisioning using a versatile range of tools that can integrate seamlessly with your existing tech stack. Our platform helps improve conversion rate and retention by delivering a more personalized and valuable experience to your customers. The platform also facilitates cross-team collaboration and maximizes efficiency because it's highly accessible to people across different teams, helping you build a better and more consistent customer experience. Our product features include things like cross-channel personalization, dynamic images, product recommendations, triggered emails, geotargeting, and much more. And we also offer testing, targeting, and optimization to make sure that you're offering the best personalized customer experience that you can. Here are a few of our clients. We're trusted by hundreds of leading digital businesses across retail, publishing, and travel. Hopefully you recognize some familiar names there and can see some businesses that you relate to. So on to the good stuff. When it comes to providing a good website experience for your customers, personalization is essential. Personalization is all about offering a tailored customer experience that's timely and relevant. It allows you to treat your customers as individuals. And in today's crowded digital environment, providing a one-to-one customer experience can really help your business stand out. Through the use of personalization, you can keep customers on your website, drive engagement, and ultimately boost your sales. Web personalization encompasses a whole range of marketing activities, such as personalized product recommendations and dynamic content. Just a few stats here. So 94% of companies experienced a rise in conversion rates after personalizing their websites. And the average Fresh Relevance client making full use of our platform sees a 25% increase in sales. And what's more, 89% of digital businesses are investing in personalization, which is a huge number. But when it comes to SEO and core web vitals, it is natural to question how personalization will affect your website search rankings. Personalization contributes to a more relevant customer experience and boosts the performance of your website by reducing bounce rate and increasing engagement, because visitors to your site are obviously much more likely to stick around if they're shown really tailored, personalized content. But while improving the customer experience is a big tick from Google, there are definitely some technical considerations to take into account when personalizing your website. So I'm going to discuss these technical considerations and what to look out for when selecting personalization software to help you create the best website experience possible for your customers without impacting your SEO. I'm going to be covering content delivery networks, asynchronous loading of script and content, pop-ups and layout of personalized content, and client-side versus server-side personalization. And I'll also be sharing a client success story at the end as well. So as we heard from Nikki just now, factors such as slow server response time, slow loading resources, client-side rendering, and long tasks can really have a negative impact on your core web vitals score. So when you're adding personalization to your website, you'll need to take measures and ensure that your personalization platform takes measures to minimize the impact on your SEO and core web vitals score. Because site speed is such a key factor in your core web vitals score, you'll need to have measurements in place to boost your page speed, and using a content delivery network is a really great way to do this. A content delivery network is a network of servers distributed around the globe that helps improve page load speed. These servers store and deliver website content, and each server is called a point of presence. So by using a content delivery network, you deliver your content via the point of presence that is closest to the user. So this means that the user and the point of presence that delivers the user's request are geographically closer than if the content was being delivered from your website server. So this can significantly reduce the time taken to load the resource. And when you're looking for a personalization platform, you should look for one that uses a content delivery network to host the script. This means that the time to serve will be really reduced, and it will ensure that your site won't have an additional external dependency. Your largest contentful paint and first input delay scores can be negatively impacted by JavaScript and CSS that blocks rendering. So rendering is the process of turning website code into the pages that users see when they visit a website. And render time refers to the amount of time it takes for a page to load and for visitors to be able to use and interact with the page. So if your render time is higher than it should be, it means it's going to take longer for someone to be able to use your web page, which is obviously going to result in a bad experience. To avoid inadvertently having scripts that block rendering while personalizing your website, you want to look for personalization software that loads the content and scripts asynchronously, which in very simple terms means that they load independently and in parallel, so that the scripts won't block rendering because it won't have to wait for the most time-consuming task to load. And your cumulative layout shift can be negatively impacted by factors, as Nikki mentioned, such as ads causing any changes in layout, cookie banners and notices, and dynamically injected content. Layout variations and changes in position can lead the user to accidentally click on something that they didn't intend to on the page. And I'm sure we've all experienced it, and it's a horrible, frustrating experience, and you don't want your brand to be associated with that frustration. In some cases, this layout shift can be caused by a pop-up that modifies the layout of the page. That's why it's important to look for technology that gives you really granular control over when and how your pop-ups are displayed, so you can avoid any unwanted layout shifts. Dynamically injected content can be another cause of layout shift, so it's also important to look for personalization software that makes it easy for you to replace content blocks with personalized content of the same size and shape to avoid page layout changes after the page has first loaded. Alternatively, you can consider using server-side personalization approaches. These are more time-consuming to set up and maintain, but they make it easier to avoid layout shifts post-load. So speaking of server-side personalization, your largest contentful paint score can be negatively impacted by client-side rendering, as I mentioned earlier. So it's really important to consider an approach that also uses server-side personalization and testing. It's not to say that client-side testing and personalization is all bad. So let's take a look at both approaches in a bit more detail. So client-side testing and personalization is actually the most common approach employed by personalization platforms. And with this approach, tests and personalized experiences are rendered from the browser via a piece of JavaScript on the client side. Client-side testing is easy to use, making it suitable for all stakeholders to use. There's also more flexibility since you can make changes quickly and easily. It doesn't require advanced technical or scripting skills, and it's also quicker to implement. But the downsides of this approach are that the personalized elements load after the main page is loaded. Developers have less control, and it doesn't integrate with web deployment frameworks, as changes can be deployed at any time. So many businesses are also now making use of the server-side approach to implement personalization without any impact on performance. This approach allows retailers to call tests and personalized experiences on the back-end side before the page is rendered. So this means that all changes are made on the server before it reaches the browser, allowing businesses to reap the benefits of faster page speed because the personalized parts of the page load at the same time as the non-personalized parts. This approach also integrates well with proprietary frameworks. There's also increased data security as well, since sensitive data doesn't need to be stored client-side. And also your personalized content can't be blocked by script blockers, cookie blockers, or any other privacy protection approaches. On the downside, though, this approach requires much more involvement by technical teams and developers. There's also a longer implementation period, and it can be hard or impossible even for marketing or commerce teams to make rapid tests and changes. That's why it's important to look for personalization software that offers a hybrid approach so you can get the best of both worlds. For example, you could use a client-side approach for initial testing via front-end personalization because it's easy to change, quick to iterate, and it's very agile. And then once you know which personalized experience performs best, you could switch to a server-side approach for faster loading of personalized content and optimal SEO. So I wanted to finish off with a nice success story. Our client, Jewelry Box, used server-side personalization to improve their internal linking structure. Using server-side personalization meant that Google started to index many more pages, resulting in a significant improvement to SEO for the long tail of less viewed products. Nathan Amory, head of digital marketing at Jewelry Box, explained that they were able to use Fresh Relevance via the API and render the block on their end, which meant Google could crawl it, and subsequently it rendered faster. They were able to immediately interlink all of their products without manually touching them. And they ended up improving their internal linking by 80%, which is a really nice demonstration of the power of server-side personalization. So finally, I wanted to share a few resources that are available on our website if you're interested in learning more about personalization, SEO, and core web vitals. We've just released a page speed checklist, which we actually created in collaboration with Jewelry Box. There's loads of great information there to help you audit your page speed. We also have some blog posts covering SEO and personalization, and also core web vitals and personalization. So those are all available on our website now. And yeah, thank you very much for listening. And my contact details are here if you want to get in touch and chat about anything that I've covered.